In the previous video, we were learning about the injection type, but now it is time to learn how can we register our dependencies in the dependency injection container. In the previous videos, we have already covered what is the dependency injection container, but in this video, we will talk more about that. Okay, so to learn this concept, I have created again this web API application, and this time again, I have one more service over here. We are having this gift service. In this gift service, I did some basic changes over here. What I did, so this has one constructor this time. This is the gift service constructor, and I'm creating a new GUID over here. So we want to give the gift to someone, but we will not give the actual gift. We will give them this GUID gift. Okay, I have one interface over here, this iGift service. This is very basic normal method over here, and this gift service is implementing that method. Don't worry about that warning or suggestion over here. It is saying that you can go with the primary constructor. That is also fine, but I want to use some logging or loggers also over here. So for that, I left it like this. Fine. Now let's talk about our controller. In this controller file, just like the earlier version, I have one more method over here. This is get, and I'm using this constructor injection this time. Whatever concept we will learn in this video, the registration of the dependency in the dependency injection container, to resolve that, you can use any kind of injection type. So here I'm using the most popular one, which is this constructor injection. Along with this setup, I did one more change over here. If I go back to my program.cs class, here I have added one Swagger endpoint. So this is what I did for this Swagger, and here I'm using this Swagger endpoint. And to use that, I had to install one package over here. So what is the package? If I open the CSPros file, you can notice that this is the package I'm using over here. I hope you are aware with this Swagger endpoint. So this Swagger endpoint will give you a proper UI where you can run all your endpoints. Okay, the very basic setup is done. Now let's talk about our service collection. In few previous videos, we were registering our services, but we were not aware what we were doing over there. Sometimes we were using this add scope, sometimes we were using the add transient, and there are more methods. This video is about that. What are these methods, how to use them, when to use them, and so many other concepts are there. Now, before using these methods, let's see again what this is, services. So if I right click over here and go to the definition or implementation over here, then you will notice that this is a type of iService collection. Okay, let's go to the definition of this one also. So here you can notice that this iService collection is implemented by this service collection class. So what we have over here, this is basically a list of the service descriptor. So ultimately this iService collection is nothing. This is just a list or collection of this service descriptor. In this service collection method, we have some more extension methods. Using those extension methods, we can register our service descriptor. You can use this service descriptor directly. We will use that after some time. But first, the simplest way is to use the extensions method. What are the extension methods? So this iService collection gives you 3 extension methods for the dependency injection purpose. First is singleton, scoped, and third is the transient. These 3 are very important methods in the concept of dependency injection, and this method defines the service lifetime of your object. How does that work? Let's see that. Let us see more about this service collection over here. So you can notice that this has all the basic properties that a collection always has. We have this count, read only. This is the constructor over here. We can also use the clear method. So it means if I'm using this clear method on my builder.services, then I can clear out all my dependencies. We can check if a particular dependency is there or not. We can copy that, remove that. We can enumerate all of them. We can do almost all the operations that are possible on a collection. So let's start this learning. Now we have to focus on the lifetime of our object. So for example, in this user controller, I'm using this gift service. What I want right now is I want only one instance of this gift service in this entire application. What does it mean? For example, if I have one more endpoint over here, I'm writing this send another gift. I want to use the same instance of this iGift service in both of them. No matter how many times I want to hit this get endpoint, I want to use the same instance. So this is very interesting concept, and let's see how to do that. So what I'm trying to do is I want to use the singleton instance of this gift service. And there is already a singleton design pattern if you are aware with the C# concepts. The dependency injection concept will give you a method By using that method, you can use that singleton design pattern. Okay, this is very interesting concept. Let's see that. On this builder.services method, if you will press dot, then there are three main important methods over here. First is this add singleton, second is add scoped, and third is add transact. In this video, I will talk about the singleton one. In this singleton, ultimately, I have to provide the instance of that service descriptor. You have to start this angle bracket over here. First, you have to provide the interface and the class that is implementing that interface you have to write over here, and that's it. So what this line will do in our application, this line will add a new dependency in our container. This dependency injection container now knows that we have a new dependency over here, iGift service, and every time if a class is requesting for this iGift service, then based on this lifetime, I have to provide the instance of this gift service class. Let's try that. So here I'm just running this application, and before that, let's see what I'm doing over here. What is the purpose of this constructor? Every time I want to create the instance of this class, this constructor will get called. So it means this GUID GUID will be generated only at that time. Okay, what I'm saying is that the singleton design pattern will have only one instance throughout the application, irrespective of your request. So it means no matter how many times I want to hit this give gift method, I will always get the same GUID. I hope you are getting the concept that I'm trying to do over here. And without thinking anything else, let's run this application. So this app is working on this 5230 port, and let's open the Swagger endpoint. How do we do that? So we have to simply type this Swagger. You can notice that we are having two endpoints over here. Now this is a very important concept over here. We are running this application. Now in that application, we are registering our dependency. We are telling this dependency injection container that, hey, I want to register my dependency using the singleton. So will this dependency injection container create the instance during the startup, or will it create after some time? This is important concept. Let me tell you the answer. The answer is whenever you will hit that class for the first time, the instance will be created only at that time. Okay, it means if now I want to check whether this class has created the instance of that gift service, no, it hasn't created the instance. It just has the lambda. It know when to create, what to create, but the instance will be created whenever you will hit your first endpoint. So here in this API users, I'm going to hit this try it out, click over here. You can notice that this is the GUID that I have received. So I want to copy it, and let's open some notes over here. This is the GUID that we have received. All right, let's hit it again. Click here again. You can notice that the page got refreshed, but still we are getting the same GUID. No matter how many times I will hit it, we will get the same GUID. Let's try this second one. Try it out. Click on this execute button. You can notice that we are still getting the same GUID that you are getting over there, 8920 and 8920, like this. Okay, let's make it a little bit more complex. So what I'm doing over here is I am having a new model class. So right click, add a new directory, and here I'm writing these models. Let's stop this application and add a new class over here. This is my gift class. Okay, so in this gift model, I have few properties. So this is going to be the int, and that is the ID, and then I have the name. If I go back to this iGift, and here let's update these methods this time now. In this interface this time I have created two methods. First is get gifts, and second is add a new gift. Let's implement those methods over here. So right click over here, click on this method, implement both of them. So here I want to have a collection. So every time I will get the gifts, I will return this list, the gifts, and if I have to add something, then I will add my gift in this one. See what I'm doing over here. This is my gift service. I have two methods. One is get gifts, and second is the add gift. So I have this private field over here, and this will contain the list of all my gifts. Now I am registering this gift service as a singleton in this application. So it means all the endpoints will share the same instance. So if I am adding one gift from this method from one endpoint, the second endpoint will be able to receive that gift. So here is my users controller. We can rename it to some gifts controller also, but that is fine. Let's get all the gifts here. So this is how we will get the gift, and here I'm saying send the gift. And what I will do over here, so this is going to be from body and gift model. Okay, so I have updated this application over here, and this is the place where we are adding the gift. This is the place where we are getting all the gifts. So let's do one more change over here. This setup is done. Then let's make this endpoint to HTTP post, because we are adding a new gift over here. Stop it, restart it. Okay, application is running. Let's open this endpoint over here, and here I'm writing this Swagger. You can notice that the first one is get all the gifts. If I click on this one, right click, you can notice that there is no gift as of now. But let's add a new gift over here and see how this will work. Okay, so we don't have to send the ID, you don't have to worry about that. So here I'm writing this gift 1, and the cost is going to be $10. Click on this execute button. You can notice that we are receiving 1. It means this is the ID of that gift. If this time I will hit that endpoint, you can notice that we are getting 1 gift. Let's add one more gift and then we will talk about that. Remember, this application is using only one instance of that service. So that's why if I'm adding a new gift 2 over here, this is 2 and this is of, let's say, $15. Click on this execute button. We have added the second one. And if I want to get all of them, you can notice that this time we are getting 2 gifts over here. Let's just stop this application. So what I'm saying is I'm just stopping it over here. And this time let's run it in the debug mode. So this is my debug mode. I'm running it over here. This time let's see what will happen. Something interesting is going to happen now. Okay, so yeah, this is my new Swagger endpoint. And so if I want to get the data of all my gifts this time, see what will happen. We are getting the empty. Why we are getting the empty data this time? We have restarted the application. Every time you will restart your service, everything will be destroyed and the new instances will be created. So it means if you are working with the Singleton service, one instance will be shared until your application will run. Once the application will stop, the execution is gone, then all the instances will be gone. And remember, you can use any number of Singleton services in your application. You can use any kind of injection type to resolve that dependency in your client class. Okay, there is one more concept over here. Let's do one more thing. So I'm using this same dependency one more time over here, and this time I'm saying gift service 2. Here I'm adding one more endpoint. Okay, and this is send gift 2. This is my second gift, and this time in the second gift I will be using this second gift service 2. So as per the dependency injection concept, what I'm saying is every time a class will expect the instance of a particular service, dependency injection container will give the instance. Here I'm getting this instance 2 times, one time here and second time over here. Remember, this service is configured as the Singleton service. Let's run this application and test this one as well. Check the code again. In the first one, we are using this gift service. In the second method, we are using this gift service 2. Let's run it. Let's just refresh this page so that we can see all our endpoints. This is get all gifts. The second one is send 1 gift. The third one is send gift 2. So first, let's click on this one and see what is happening. You can notice that we are not getting any gift because we have just restarted this application. Now I want to add a new gift over here, and this is going to be gift 1. The cost is going to be 10. Click on this execute button. If I will just again hit this endpoint to get the list of all the gifts. I think I should rename it because this might confuse some of the guys, but it's okay. Don't worry about the name. Simply see the concept that this endpoint is returning us the list of all the gifts that we have. Okay, so we have 1 gift and this is the data that we are getting. Now here we are in the second endpoint. Remember this one, we have added one more endpoint this time to test something. And here I'm writing this gift 2. The cost is going to be expensive this time. This is 80. Click on this execute and this has been created. Hey, did you check the ID over here? The ID is 2. It means it was incremented in the previous one. The previous one was the 1 ID. This is 2. Let's check the list of all the gifts this time. This time you can notice that we are getting both the records over here. So no matter how many times you are using the instance of that singleton, you will always get only one instance, and dependency injection will take care of that. I hope this concept is really useful for you. Thank you for watching.